欢迎大家收看亚洲保时捷 ARbox 卡雷拉杯第11回合的赛事直播。现在我们在马来西亚国际雪邦国际赛道已经来到了今天第2场的比赛。早些时候的比赛已经是非常的酷热，对我们的很多车手来说，有一些车手甚至还有差一点要中暑的现象。那这场比赛呢，将会是长达45分钟的比赛，对我们的车手来说，将会是更加严峻的考验。Hello everyone, and we are now ready to kick off round 11 of Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia. Earlier on, I was sharing how my neck was burning from the heat, but now the sun has shifted right in front at this direction. It's getting even hotter on the track, and this round is going to be a 45 minutes endurance race. So that means longer constraint for all of our drivers under the heat, under the pressure. They have to save their tires to make it all the way to their goal, because this race could be very important to some of the drivers, as we are about to see who can make it into the championship points. So stay tuned and let's throw it back to our commentators.
Well, thank you very much, Sammy. Arjuna Kankipati ready to walk you through all of the action here for the 11th round in the 2026 Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia. And we've seen two rather interesting sprint races, but throw 45 minutes onto the clock and see what our drivers are going to be able to dial up in terms of long run consistency. And you say 45 minutes, really it's 43 minutes plus 1 lap. So whenever our leader breaks the timing line for that final time, we'll get that last lap sign. But earlier today, to kick off Super Sunday, our 13-lap sprint race, Marco Giltrap alongside of Dylan Pereira on the front row. And while Giltrap got off the line decently, by the time he got up to turn 4, he was well and truly under pressure. But Francis Chia was the driver who lost the rear end coming out of that corner, putting the power down. Fortunately, no safety car. It led to some intense fighting within the trio of Josh Berry, Sawyer Hong Dat, and then, for a moment, Nakib Aslan as he charged his way from the very back of the field. 29th position, all the way up to 7th at the conclusion of the 13 laps. And he seemed to have a car that was truly on rails, made a move at turn 14 on a couple of occasions that, to some, may only seem possible in dreams. In the AM class, Chao Chi Kwan able to hold on amidst some intense fighting with other class competitors. When I say other class competitors, I mean the Pro-Ams in front of him. But all as that fighting ensued, Dylan Pereira broke away at the front of the field to return to the victory lane in the Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia. Bao Jinlong, our Pro-Am winner, makes it 2 wins this weekend, trying to grab all 3, while in AM, Chao Chi Kwan slightly atoned for a mistake that led to a penalty in the first race. He dropped down to 5th as a result of that. He was the winner in the AM class. And Adrian De Silva, winner in Masters. Let's talk weather. Has started to warm up. We are 3 degrees warmer on air temperature, although great to see. Still no chance of rain. Now, the most important question. Get the drum roll going. What's our track temperature? Presented by our friends at Michelin. It's going to be scorching. Oof, 54 degrees Celsius. Now, I'll do the translation for those that work in Fahrenheit. That's 129.2. And we're throwing a little bit more onto the end of this race. I say a little bit more because we had 2 safety car periods in race 1, none in race 2. Here's a look at the championship points. Now we take 11 of the 13 point scores. Marcus Amon missing this round of the championship. The gap to Marco Giltrap looks like it's reduced, but Amon in a very good championship position. Rodrigo Diaz Almeida slipping back slightly from Giltrap in race 1. He got a couple more points on the board in race 2, while Nakib Aslan, that drive through the field, has seen him stay within touching distance in 4th position. For Wang Zhongwei, if he wins this race and Bao Jinlong finishes 4th, he could wrap up the championship. But Bao Jinlong has been on fine form after missing the races on the streets of Bongsen. Chris Chia trying to put the pressure on Bao Jinlong. Let's see how he can do in this slightly longer race. And it's been great to see Francis Chia return to the series for the first time since Shanghai. In the AM class, Roy Tang won race 1, but struggled a little bit more in race number 2. But still a healthy points lead over brothers Kwong, Henry in front of Eric, while Simon Chan and Yen Chuang, just 1 point between the two of them. Still very close in the AM class. While in Masters, John Shen, Adrian De Silva, Jackie Wu, Douglas Koo. That's the running order. Adrian De Silva missed the first 2 races at Shanghai, so he is a little bit closer to John Shen than those numbers would lead you to believe. But all 4 championships will go down to the final weekend of the year. It seems as though our championships not yet to be decided. Get a sense of what it's like for Marco Giltrap. Busy grid, strapped into the car and now just waiting for formation lap. Before then, for our own Steve Dawson to wander down with the microphone and ask a couple of questions before the door gets shut and the drivers are allowed to focus on the thing that they are here to really do: drive race cars as quick as they can be driven. What a wonderful track to do it at as well. Great to see the fan support. And let's see what they're experiencing down on the grid with Steve Dawson.
My goodness me, it's hot. I've got air temperature officially at 33 degrees Celsius, but Dylan Pereira's pit crew just very kindly used this little implement here to take track temperature, and it is 60 degrees down below, which is horrible. Now, the reason we're next to Dylan Pereira's car is because we're changing things up. We're right at the back here. Indeed, Nakib Aslan, who, as you know, has been the best qualifier we've had all season, is all the way to the back. Dylan's struggling a bit as well. He had some track limit issues in qualifying, so he is in P22. Let's have a word with Dylan. He's sucking down some liquid, which I think is an extremely good idea. Dylan, on Saturday you had the same kind of deal that you've got today. You just won the race this morning in fantastic fashion, but it's a lot of fun, isn't it, starting this far back and weaving your way through the crowd?
Definitely, it's fun for sure, but yeah, better to start at front. That's why I'm here. I want to win the races. Starting from here, it's a bit difficult. Yeah, small mistake in qualifying. Track limits made me start from here now, so at the end it's what it is. I cannot change it anymore. Now I try to do the best out of it. Race 1, I went from P27 to P5. Let's see what I can do now, starting from P22.
What would your hopes be? You did, if you got to P5 last time?
I hope, basically my aim is to get into the podium position, so it's for sure not easy, but definitely as much as possible, and I try to keep the car in one piece. It's the most important. I think I'm here as a guest starter, so I want to not disturb any championship, but also try to do the best results that I can.
It will be a pleasure to see you on the podium. Drive safely.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Dylan Pereira. He's got a lot of work to do. We'll change things up, then we'll head up towards P1. I probably won't get to P1, but one person I do want to speak to is someone that we tried to chat to on Saturday morning, but we didn't actually have time. It's Francis Chia. Now, Francis, when we all first got together, I think it was in the very first weekend, had a bit of a smash and injured himself. He had to be flown by helicopter to hospital. Thankfully, and we're all delighted to see him because he's such a great character, he's made a full recovery. And he's, let's go this way, and he's back in Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia, and he's always constantly got a smile on his face. So we'll see if we can have a word with Francis here. How are you doing, old buddy? I know that you're well because we chatted already, but we haven't actually got you live on camera yet. Tell us about how healthy you are and how much you're looking forward to this final race of the weekend.
I'm in great shape. I'm really happy. You know, I haven't mentioned it publicly before, but the guys in Shanghai did such a fantastic job. The doctors at the medical center, the doctors at the hospital, and they really made a big difference. and so the operation was great as well. I think I told you, my son calls me Iron Man now, so I've got a little bit more metal in me, but I'm in great shape. I'm looking forward to the race, and yeah, let's go.
So you're a harder man than you used to be.
Absolutely.
We look forward to seeing you in action once again. Well done, Francis.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Francis, just so good to see him back. I wonder if we can get a little chance to speak to Amna Al-Kubaisi. She's in P12. There's lots of whistles going on. I'm sure you can hear. That's telling people to get off the track because they're ready to start. But we'll see if we can push this a little bit further than everyone else is generally allowed to. See if we can have a word with Amna. She should be, let's see, next car perhaps. There we go, Amna Al-Kubaisi, here she is. The only lady driver in all of Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia. Here is Amna Al-Kubaisi. Amna, it's hot, isn't it? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm burning inside the car.
Hot for you, but it's hot for the tyres as well. We've now got a longer race. We've just heard that track temperature is 60 degrees Celsius. How concerned are you about the life of the tyres over this extended distance?
I mean, I've had experience in endurance racing last year, so I knew how to manage my tires. So it's all about not pushing too much at the start and try to maintain the tires for the long run.
So you're starting in P12. What would your hopes and expectations be for the final result?
Hopefully a top 10.
Okay, we look forward to perhaps speaking to you afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amna Al-Kubaisi in P12, looking for a P10 finish. It's hot, which means we're all looking to get in the shade. I hope you're comfortable where you are. Enjoy the race.
Should be a good one. In front of us, the 11th race of the season. And into the business end, let's walk you through the starting grid. Marco Giltrap makes it 3 pole positions this weekend, while Maceo Capietto slots in alongside. These are qualifying results combined from race 1 and 2 in terms of lap time. DS Almeida and Liu Ruiqi are on row number 2. Nazim Azman and Sawyer Hongdat, 5th and 6th positions. Best they've started this weekend with Lin Kang, and then best of the Pro-Am drivers, Bao Jin Long, up there on row number 4. Seth Gilmore and Chris Chia right behind his Pro-Am competitor. He'll be putting the pressure on from inside of the top 10, while Chao Chi Kwan, best qualifier in the Am class, starts 11th. Amna Al-Kubaisi on the outside. Henry Kwong, Roy Tang, 13th and 14th position, the championship leader. Right in the heart of the fight, Adrian De Silva and then Eric Kwong, best qualifier in Masters, up there on row number 7. Aaron Lim and Francis Chia then slotting behind, with Josh Berry and Christian Chia making up the rest of the top 20. Really interesting to see how the pros filtering in here. Jackie Wu, Dylan Pereira, 21st and 22nd position respectively. Some work for Pereira to do, but Yen Chuang, Simon Chan, they'll start behind him, so they'll see some of that work from the defending series champion John Shen, and Wong Zhongwei, the points leader in Pro-Am, starts back in 26th, with Douglas Koo, Li Jia in front of the driver with 5 pole positions this season, but now 2 starts at the back of the pack this weekend on home soil, Naqib Aslan, with an admirable drive from 29th to 7th earlier today, hoping he can go a couple spots better with the extra time allocated to him. 3 poles this weekend. Marco Giltrap was asked the question yesterday, well, would you take 1 victory? Would you take 3? Of course, a racing driver will always take all the victories you can give them, but he definitely felt like he had something this weekend to fight with. Well, time for the drivers to bake a little bit as the 1-minute board goes up. The blankets covering the windshields get removed, and the crew members scamper off the circuit. Rolling start ahead of us for the first time this season. Endurance races, the only ones where we don't use the traditional standing start. That means your wits should be about you as you run down to the start-finish line, and you get ready to punch that throttle and go racing. Baojun Long looking to make it the perfect weekend. 3 race wins from 3 pole positions in class. Maybe he'll mix it up with the pros as well. Off and away on the formation lap. Marco Giltrap will lead the field. While for Iseo Capietto, best he started this weekend on the outside of the front row as he fills in for Marcus Amond on some of his other racing duties. And Giltrap on pole by about a second once you combine the lap times used to set the grid for qualifying 1 and 2 from that BWT Shanghai Yonder number 3. Behind them, Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida, We Trade Phantom Global. Leo Ray Chi, his sister car out of the Phantom Global Racing stable. On the outside of row 2, Nazim Azman. Great to see him back in the series. In the Origin Motorsport number 33, he's got Sawyer Hong Dat, Porsche Vietnam's number 12 on his outside, while Lin Kang starts 7th for Origin Motorsports, and Baojun Long also in an Origin Motorsports machine. The best qualifier in Pro-Am is 8th. Seth Gilmore, that bright orange Porsche Center Adelaide 24 is 9th. Chris Chia, Phantom Global Racing at number 79 will be 10th, running through the starting grid once again. With Chao Chi Kwan, 610 Racing 11th, best qualifier in Am. Amna Al-Kabasi. Talk to her on the starting grid in the Team Jebsen. Starts 12th. Henry Kwong, second best in Am, 13th in the Bergwerk 91. Points leader Roy Tang, 610 Racing's machine, start 14th. Poland Masters, 15th for Adrian De Silva for EBM. Eric Kwong in the Bergwerk 23 missed the races at Bongsen, start 16th. Aaron Lim hoping to finish this race. DNF from earlier today. He's 17th for Absolute Racing, with Francis Chia back in action for Open Road Racing in 18th. Josh Berry, pro driver, buried back in 19th for EBM, with Christian Chia in the Open Road Racing 69, one of our Masters drivers, completing the top 20. And then Jackie Wu, the Master driver, Porsche owned Retail 69 team 21st. Keep an eye out for Absolute Boxart and Dylan Pereira from 22nd. Yen Truong, BWT Phantom Global in 23rd. Simon Chan, Fire Monkey Motorsports, the black and green Porsche Cup car, is 24th. John Shen from Modena Motorsports will be in 25th, while Wong Jong Wei for Origin Motorsports Pro-Am points leader is 26th. Douglas Koo, Viper Nizza Racing will be 27th, and then Li Jia in the 610 Racing number 99 is 28th. And last but not least, Naqib Aslan in that Team Porsche Malaysia number 17. Doing that last to wherever he can finish challenge, but with a rolling start, does that make it easier to pick your way through down to turn number 1? Keep your Michelin tires alive. That is surely key to the race. 43 minutes plus 1 lap. Marco Giltrap will once again be in control from the front, but an opportunity for Iseo Capietto to maybe put a bit more pressure alongside down into turn 1. And for Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida in a fight for second maybe with Marco Giltrap, could you see some aggression on the inside being shown from the We Trade Phantom Global number 8? So many questions and only one way to answer them. Turn those red lights off and get the racing going. So for the 3rd time this weekend from the Sepang International Circuit, Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia is go. Look at them fan out on the run down to turn 1. Chao Chi Kwan is going to be inside of the top 10 as we stamp onto the brakes for the first time. Capietto trying to sweep his momentum around the outside and challenge Marco Giltrap. There's lots of action. They're 4 wide, including Adrian De Silva in the Masters class. But Francis Chia's got around through turn 1. The rest of the field descending out of turn 2 and now power down climb up into turn number 4. Giltrap holds on to the race lead. Cappietto shows himself back to the inside. The Team Porsche New Zealand 66 closes that door. Ling Kang trying to get himself asserted in these early stages. We saw Marco Giltrap struggle a bit the deeper we went into the race earlier today. Didn't have that struggle yesterday, so as the team found a bit more balance in the heat of the sunshine that the track has been baked down with. Ride with Seo Cappietto, the Frenchman, filling in for championship leader Marcus Amond. There was a great post he made on social media about what his expectations were for this weekend. Made a joke about trying to avoid needing to use the bathroom in the seat of Marcus Amond, quoting the famous line from Jenson Button all those years ago in Monaco. That is a big send, but that was telegraphed up the inside. Well shown and well done to avoid fighting too hard. Viorechi gets the elbows out. He started 4th. He has dropped down from that starting position. He's fighting with Bao Jinlong. The red number tells the story. And with Chao Chi Kwan behind, the rolling start has really mixed up the playing field. End of lap 1. Remember, 43 minutes plus 1 lap of racing ahead of us. Giltrap, Cappietto, Diaz Almeida, no change there, but Ling Kang up to 4th. Nazim Azman, 5th where he started this race. And Bao Jinlong back in front of Viorechi, but sitting 6th in the overall running order as the best of the Pro-Ams. His next competitor is Chris Chia, all the way in 16th. Meanwhile, Chao Chi Kwan and Roy Tang at 8th and 9th overall, best of the ARMS. I have no doubt the race start has already begun its investigation from the team at Race Control. But some big jumps that have split up some class competitors. And now we have to wait and see for the likes of... Is that right, that Dylan Pereira and Niki Beslan are both already in 12th and 15th? Remarkable. Race Control has an unenviable task sometimes with the decisions put in front of them. There's a lot of things I think that they're probably looking at based on those big jumps out into the final sector. Rodrigo Diaz Almeida dropping back from the top 2 slightly. Ling Kang in that white and purple. Origin Motorsports 87 feeling the heat from Nazim Azman. Behind them, Bao Jinlong still very much keeping up to pace with these pros. A couple of drivers using the headlight flasher. When we were racing under the night lights, it was obvious when the mental mind games were being played. A little less obvious in the heat of the day. Here's some of those pros fighting, and Aslan up the inside might have just got 2 drivers in the space of 1 corner. Back across the timing line. He's in front of Chao Chi Kwan now. Excuse me, that's Roy Tang. Josh Berry in the mix too. So Roy's been shuffled down all the way to 14th position from 9th on the previous lap. Remember, 4 races within 1 here. And they're starting to overlap. Chris Chia's not going to want to wait behind Roy either. Meanwhile, Dylan Pereira looks up the inside of Seth Gilmore in that bright orange for Porsche Centre Adelaide. Not far adrift of the hunting Sawyer Hongdat for Porsche Vietnam. Looks like wheel to wheel as well for Nazim Azman and Ling Kang for 4th position. You can fight around this Sepang circuit. There is no question about that. And in fact, Nazim Azman has slipped through for 4th position. Great job there. First appearance this season for the Malaysian. Did the full Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia campaign in 2024. And some appearances here and there since then, after his Formula 3 journey came to an end. So from 29th to 12th, in the space of, make that 3 laps for Naqib Aslan. And maybe more importantly, he is right on the case of Dylan Pereira. He doesn't want to wait too much longer behind Seth Gilmore. Oh, some contact, squares him up. Out of the final corner, dings the left rear. Just a little kiss, a reminder. Down to turn 1, here comes the Malaysian. Came so close to victory in the night race. And don't count him out here. A couple of safety cars maybe pack the field back up. That's why these moves matter. Up the inside, he hugs the inside curb through turn 1. He's left on the outside, dropping through 2. Gilmore's got to leave some space, but as much as he has to, he'll squeeze Aslan into the grass slightly. But that Team Porsche Malaysia, number 17, is once again hooked up on rails. And now up to 11th. And next is Absolute Box Hot and Dylan Pereira. This could be one of the funner fights that we've seen this season. However, by the same token, I think they will both be aware if they do fight, they will cost each other time and allow Marco Giltrap the benefit of running away with the race lead. He's still seeing some gains relative to Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida. Isao Capieto is still within 1.2 seconds, keeping Giltrap as close as he can for the time being. Man on the move in the top 5 right now is very much, though, Nazim Azman. Having slipped through on Diaz-Almeida now as well in that middle sector of the lap, so he has turned the wick up. Not sure how much Chao Chi Kwan really needs to defend from Dylan Pereira up the inside. There goes the pro car on the AM leader. And while Chao Chi Kwan has held on to his track position, Roy Tang is now defending from Henry and Eric Kwong. At 16th, 17th and 18th overall. All while Chao Chi Kwan sits up here, 10th. I am seeing some track limit warnings flash up, but nothing in terms of penalties from the race start just yet, as we close on about 10 minutes complete in this 43-minute plus 1 lap race. There's plenty of experience here at the Sepang International Circuit for drivers. It's used for testing quite a bit, and that includes for our talent pool assessment, the 2027 talent pool assessment coming up at the end of the year, schedule slightly adjusted, courtesy of the Formula One race that is now coming back here to the Sepang International Circuit with a rather interesting name. It's a really demanding track on the drivers, though, in terms of precision required. Lots of medium speed corners and then traction zones as well to balance the car out. With the evolution of the Porsche Cup car through the years, it's been getting more and more aerodynamic, but what that also means is it maybe is a little more sluggish in some dirty air. So could that be a factor that drivers are dealing with? But you see how close they're running here. Behind that number 33 Origin Motorsports car piloted by Azim Azman. All within about half a second or so for the time being. Squirming to put the power down out of slightly awkward final corner. Plenty of track to use. So last time by at the line, fastest driver was actually Matteo Capietto, 209.940, about 3/10 quicker than Marco Giltrap. Let's look at the race start then. So Chao Chi Kwan has passed at this point, I'm counting at least 3 pro drivers. Maybe make that a bit more as he is up the inside. That's where I think most of his gains came from. Francis Chia actually had some contact, so he was assisted. And I would suspect that might have been John Shen. You never miss him with the flames on the side. Up to turn 4 then. Climb into the braking zone. Capietto went aggressive, but Giltrap able to cover him off. And now as we rejoin live pictures, Bao Jin Long has been passed by Sawyer Hong Dat, Dylan Pereira, and now Nakib Aslan. He knows that that's not his fight. Doesn't try and get too involved. But let's see how close he can stay to the pace of these two. Now driving their way up into the top 10. With 30 minutes still left to go to make an impact on the race lead. "30 minutes and 1 lap, I should say. Nakib seems to run a slightly tighter entry on the run out of turn 13 and into 14. Seems to work quite nicely for him though. Doesn't lose much ground on exit to Pereira, the concertina as they put the power down. Closes up under the brakes through the final corner. So these drivers now 7th, 8th and 9th. And 2.5 seconds adrift of the train that runs behind the podium spot. So qualifying, we always talk about it being important. They've been able to carve their way through the field like a hot knife through butter and avoid losing too much time. That's the important thing. But now they get to the tricky drivers, those in class. Diaz Almeida dropping back. This is not great for him in his championship fight with Marco Giltrap. Two of them may be fighting for second in points behind Marcus Amond. Not quite under pressure from Ling Kang. He goes wide, pushes with some understeer out of turn 7. And all the way now on the inside, running down into the brake zone of the next corner. Opens the door for Ling Kang to pop to the outside. He runs him out wide into the AstroTurf offered, and Liu Chi spots his chance to then slip through as they work into the next corner at 11. Physical racing, that's what it's like in the rough and tumble of the Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia. Look at the setup from Ling Kang trying to open up the entry into the corner, square the car to put the power down. Meanwhile, back of the shot, pretty short. Dylan Pereira and Nakib Aslan both passed Sawyer Hong Dat, indeed, yes. So they are only 5.5 seconds away from the race leader right now. What a charge that is still brewing. Lin Kang tries to get the position back from Liu Ruiqi into turn 1. A little bit awkward, stumble over each other. Who gets the better drive out of turn 2? It was pretty equal. They've got to now be aware of 2 on the charge behind. Right, we do have some start penalties that have just come down from race control. Car 10, 55, 61 and 99. So that's Simon Chan in that Fire Monkey Motorsports AM car. It's Amna Al-Kubaisi in the Team Jebsen Pro. It's Adrian De Silva in the Masters car for EBM, and Li Jia in the 610 racing car in AM class. They've all been given a 5-second time penalty for a false start. Let's see if there's anything else that race control has. But importantly, that doesn't involve some of the drivers we've talked about. Roy Tang, Chao Chi Kwan, Bao Jinlong, and of course Aslan and Carrera. What we are seeing with the 60-degree track temperature that Steve Dawson spotted on the grid walk, track limit warnings being handed out. Some second warnings through the field. Here's the front of the Masters class with Jackie Wu just in front of Adrian De Silva, who has just been given that 5 seconds. So he needs to slip through and build an advantage in the 25 minutes remaining of this race. Down the back straightaway, about 880 meters into the brake zone. Francis Chia has made his intention clear. He wants to slip through too. On his recovery from being tipped around through turn 1, potentially. Francis also did say, though, to Steve that he's not going to try and get too involved in the championship fights. Must be enjoying being in this new Porsche Cup car for the first time all the way since the start of the season. Yen Chuang is flashing his lights. He wants to get through too. Always interesting when you have the classes overlapping. But Adrian De Silva firmly focused forward. Meanwhile, Chao Chi Kwan continues to keep a couple of pros behind. Seth Gilmore, Josh Berry, Amna Al-Kubaisi. Oh, and Francis Chia's gone around again, and I think that's turn 4. Had a spin here earlier today. Oh, and indeed, yes. So trying to make the move on Adrian De Silva. Oh, he's on the exit AstroTurf curbing. Can see the car penduluming as he tries to put all the power down. And unfortunately just ran out of grip. Has been a very drama-free race, though, much like it was in race 2 earlier today. Aaron Lim is in pit lane. That happened a couple of laps ago, but still have 28 of our cars running around. Dylan Pereira and Nikib Aslan have finally found someone a bit harder to pass on track and stuck behind Lin Kang for a handful of laps so far. Heading towards the halfway point of this race. Lap time fall off hasn't really been too much of a factor. It's about 1 second from the best lap time to the most recent lap times for most drivers. Fastest lap of the race was set by Marco Giltrap. Still only 1.2 seconds clear of Maceo Capietto. Josh Berry, Seth Gilmore, they're fighting for 12th position. This is allowing Chao Chi Kwan to have some breathing room. Gilmore slips off track. And Josh Berry in that white with purple highlights right through to 12th position overall. Meanwhile, Henry Kwong has been putting the pressure on Roy Tang for the last 10 minutes. But so far, Roy has been able to keep Henry at arm's distance. Henry gets a good entry into turn 7, but maybe a bit of a poor exit as a result. I love how drivers just use the headlight button at free will. Looks like Lin Kang has been passed by Carrera and Aslan, and finally slipping through as well was Sawyer Hongdat. Next is Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida. It means that a pair of drivers who are charging from the back of the field after having lap times invalidating qualifying. The Carrera that happened in qualifying 1, he started at the back of that race. For Aslan, it happened in qualifying 2. He started at the back of that respective race. They have resisted the urge to fight each other just yet. I tell you what, Dylan Pereira finally goes for a move. He was hesitant once, twice, thrice. But Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida really seems to be struggling in the heat of the day. Dylan Pereira is a non-championship driver. That means he doesn't score points, but Nakib Aslan does. Does that mean Diaz-Almeida defends a bit more? Aslan not close enough to have the look, to have the opportunity to slip alongside. He'll have to wait through 5 and 6 as now Pereira starts to break away. Aslan almost running over Diaz-Almeida. He looks like he's got so much more grip, so much more confidence. And up to turn 7, the inevitable. Out wide as well behind from Sawyer Hongdat as he tries to keep pace with those in front. Officially now halfway through this endurance race. And when we cross the line next time by, we'll be on the 11th lap complete. So almost having completed the sprint distance and another 17 or so minutes plus left to go. Capieto slipping back. Marco Giltrap now 1.7 seconds clear. It's still Chao Chi Kwan that leads in the AM class. His competitors Roy Tang and Henry Kwong are getting very close to each other. Into the final sector. Henry Kwong pops to the outside at turn 14. That's setting up Roy for the up and under, but Roy aware to it. Carries a bit more momentum as he sweeps past the apex. And now defensively into the final corner. That's what Henry was hoping for. Tidal line has cost Roy, but then Henry Kwong a little bit squirrely, power down through that final hairpin, slightly off camber as he worked through to the start-finish line. And a quite intense battle continuing to see these drivers push each other. Roy deep through turn 1. And now, out of turn 2, he makes another mistake. Well, I say mistake. You don't have to hit the apex if it doesn't lead to you being passed. These are some very defensive lines being driven. The championship leader knows that every advantage he can carry into Singapore makes that final 2 races of the season carry a little less jeopardy when we talk the championship picture. 185 to 146 points, the comparison between Roy Tang and Henry Kwong. Again, remember, we only use the best 11 of 13 point scores in the season as well, so being as consistent as he can is Roy. He's had 3 wins, 2 second place finishes, and a third mixed in there as well, I believe. So racking up podiums has been the key to his championship charge so far. That's the race lead, and then the gap behind significantly larger. But with 17 minutes left to go, Akib Aslan and Dylan Pereira now 16 seconds away from Marco Giltrap. I think that might be too much of a bridge to make up. Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida still on the struggle bus, up the inside from Sawyer Hong Dat in the Porsche Vietnam number 12. And he's got plenty of grip right now. Rips 7th away from the WeTrade Phantom Global number 8. Diaz-Almeida not left with much to defend as Ling Kang looms in the mirror too. Gets close at turn 4. Look at, using all the track and then some. Ling Kang on the white line as he pitches the car left into turn 5. Can't make the move up to turn 7 where Akib Aslan slipped through on Diaz-Almeida. And maybe a bit too far behind to have a move into turn 9. He's brave. He's willing to use the curb on the right side of the track to just extend the track width and allow him to turn in maybe a little bit later, a bit squarer. I say brave, is that also just necessitated by the amount of tyre grip that he's got left? Slips a bit wide into the final sector. But no more running out wide for Sawyer Hong Dat. He's been given a black and white flag for track limits infringement. So the next time he runs wide, it will be a 5-second time penalty from the stewards. Glimpse into the garage there momentarily with Origin Motorsport. Best of their drivers sits third, Nazim Asman currently in a podium spot. But Dylan Pereira and Akib Aslan are only 3 seconds away from being a factor for the third and final step on that podium. Ling Kang sweeps out wide. Don't think that was intentional. Bit of entry understeer as that car got turned into the opening corner. Allows Diaz-Almeida a bit of breathing room now. That's crucial. After starting this race from third with designs you'd think on a potential race win, it's damage limitation now. There's not too many things that you can really tweak on these Porsche Cup cars, but the tools that you have at your disposal, they're all valuable. And I wonder if one of the things that some teams have maybe struggled to find the right threshold on is starting tire pressures with the changing track temperatures that we've been seeing. Track surface continuing to be baked by the Malaysian sun. And another black and white flag for track limits infringements. This one is for Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida. So any defense that he would offer up by maybe carrying a bit more speed, running just beyond the threshold of the track, Can't get away with that anymore. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left for him to hang on. And 12 minutes and 30 seconds for Nazim Azman to hope that Liu Ruiqi can defend from Dylan Pereira. Flashing the lights, reminding those in front of the presence of the charging duo. Always great to return to the Sepang International Circuit, the site of the very first Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia race. It was on March 23rd, 2003. The craziest thing about me just saying that is I've realized there are some drivers, many drivers in this field, who weren't even born to be witness to the first ever race of this series, but are here competing, and in some cases part of the Porsche talent pool. Ling Kang's through, but very wide and off the track. Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida now down into 9th position after starting in 3rd. The next car won't be a class car, but Bao Jinlong might not want to wait behind, so we will see to the level to which Diaz-Almeida has got to put the defense up. Fall off slowly beginning to be more of a factor. It's now closer to 2 seconds off the fastest lap for most of the field. Fastest driver continues to be the one up front, Marco Giltrap, 2:10.945 last time by. He's now 2.5 seconds clear of Maceo Capietto as well, so for the time being, assume that Giltrap has got a good balance on his team Porsche New Zealand number 66. For Capietto, again, as a non-championship driver, he doesn't score points, but he will be on the podium, as would Nazim Azman. So what this does effectively is mean Nakib Aslan and Liu Ruiqi are going to be fighting for the second best points on offer in class. That helps the cause for Aslan. Dylan Pereira makes a lot of contact, squares up Liu Ruiqi out of turn 1. Nazim Azman with a 3-second buffer in that gold and white Origin Motorsports number 33. He's hoping this fight continues to build. Another black and white flag for track limits, this time for Ling Kang. Margin for error running thin for competitors now. A little bit further down through the field, Roy Tang has been passed by both of the brothers Kwong. Henry sits 2nd, Eric now 3rd. The championship leader still in a good points paying position. Half-hearted look, but then maybe a slightly defensive move under brakes from Liu Ruiqi. Absolute box art, a special livery this weekend on that number 88 for Dylan Pereira. Another wonderful livery, a partnership between Absolute Racing and ARbox. An Absolute box art has been driven to an intense level by Dylan Pereira so far this weekend. Maybe 4 laps left to go. 4 laps left for the tyres. Liu Ruiqi defensively minded into the final corner. Nakib Aslan trying to close as well, make it 3 cars at play for 4th overall, and snaking back and forth. Liu Ruiqi trying to dissuade Dylan Pereira from the last minute lunge. Instead, he just goes to the outside, commits straight away. Liu Ruiqi able to clear, holds on through turn 2. but then allows Pereira the chance to cut back, get the tighter exit. Nakib Aslan has a great perspective of this fight. But he wants to go from camera car to participant. Carrera tries the outside again. He's run off track by Liu Ruiqi. Turns out turn 4 might not be a passing spot when you're this closely matched on pace. To turn 7. Oh, a bit of a bobble from Liu Ruiqi. Pereira slips through. Aslan will force the issue as well. And maybe now Nakib Aslan is ready to pull the trigger on his fight with Dylan Pereira. Closes up to the back bumper. I say bobble, maybe it was also Liu Ruiqi realizing that he tried to cover off the move a little too late. That put him offline through the first of the two right-handers. And with the understeer he had, that was where Aslan was given the opportunity. So our race leader is about to head into the final corner. That means that we are going to head into 3 laps to go. Marco Giltrap still 2.6 seconds clear of Maceo Capieto. Make it 2.8 seconds now. Had to wait a while for the first of his Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia wins. Seemingly the wait for win 2 destined to be a little bit shorter. Sure, some nervy times for some in the garage as we head into these closing stages. Drivers also being pushed. We've talked about tires in this race, but in the heat of the day, drivers very much going to leave the car knowing that they gave everything around this track. Bao Jinlong has not found a way through on Rodrigo Diaz Almeida as they continue to sit 9th and 10th in the overall combined class positions. Update on Masters. Adrian De Silva has been able to jump in front of his class competitors in Masters. More importantly, he's built a 5-second buffer. So even once the time penalty gets applied for the false start, once the checkered flag flies, at least for the time being, he's on course to hold on to the victory. Chao Chi Kwan had a great start and held on to a spot inside of the top 10 in the early stages. Still in front is Seth Gilmore in that bright orange Porsche Center Adelaide machine. With just 2 laps left to go, drivers will be aware of that. Communication between the pit wall, I'm sure, in this race has been very important to managing the effort put into the Michelins. Another black and white warning flag for track limits this time. It's Liu Ruiqi in that 77. Down the back straightaway for the ante-penultimate time for these two. Chao Chi Kwan still with the measure momentarily. Just for Chao Chi Kwan, he missed the events at Fuji and Bongsen, so he's not really fighting for a championship necessarily, but great to see him grabbing a couple of victories this weekend to add to the one that he grabbed at Shanghai. Up to turn 4. Bao Jinlong reminding Rodrigo Diaz Almeida he's there in the mirror. Josh Berry's closing. They're not fast enough right now, just looking at the lap times. He was only about 7/10 quicker than Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida last time around. He needed a bit more if he wanted to make a charge for 9th in the overall order. Might still get a chance to pass Bao Jinlong. Any chance of Naqib Aslan seemingly making a move on Dylan Pereira, slipping away. Carrera trying to hunt down Nazim Asman in these final laps. But with the gap at about 3.3 seconds, might be a bridge just too far. And I say that because when the clock strikes 0, it will be 1 lap left to go, and we've got 90 seconds remaining. So next time by will be the last lap. Light illuminated for all drivers, and 5.5 kilometers will be left. Marco Giltrap now 3.3 seconds clear. Very curious to hear what he's got to say about this race. Was he managing the pace at the start, balancing the need to push and build a gap to Capieto versus keeping something in reserve for the final stages of this endurance race? We had 2 endurance races last year, just one here in 2026. But it's definitely a different complexion. The rolling start, we saw the amount of drivers that were able to make some headway there. Especially with the factor of the heat. It's an intense experience. Only 3 hours or so removed from us finishing up the previous race of the day, the 10th round of the 2026 season. Fox ticks away and now strikes 0. 1 lap left to go. When we get back towards the line, and Marco Giltrap, 3 pole positions this weekend. He was really made to earn the win yesterday. Naqib Aslan pushed him, literally. A couple of occasions they made contact on that final lap. But Marco Giltrap has got a bit more of a buffer as he sweeps through the final hairpin. And 1 lap left to go here in the final race of the weekend at the Sepang International Circuit. Last chance for some to make some moves. Dylan Pereira is now only 2.5 seconds back from Nazim Asman, but that's too far to make any impact, you'd think. Maybe in Masters, where Jackie Wu, John Shen, they're fighting for second. Christian Chia not too far behind them as well. And Bao Jinlong still all over the gearbox of Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida. What a relief it will be for Diaz-Almeida to see that last lap board. Just looking at his lap time, he has got fall off closer to about 3 seconds. Although our race leader up to 2.7 seconds of fall off last time by. Bao Jinlong with a great exit out of turn 2. Feathers the throttle as they sweep through the long right-hander. Eventually has to concede as Diaz-Almeida holds on, but all of this allowing Josh Berry to close. Music to the ears of the white and purple. Bao Jinlong carries a bit more mid-corner speed. He pushes then on the exit, compromises him through the final part of the switchbacks. He's defensive. Josh Berry wants to get through. He wants to fight for his class position. This allows Diaz-Almeida, again, a bit of crucial breathing room right now. Bao Jinlong's going to force Berry to now switch back. It's very difficult to make that move work. But through the final quarter for Marco Giltrap, just a day removed from his first win in the Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia, he'll taste the champagne once again. Marco Giltrap, the winner of the endurance race at the Sepang International Circuit. Matteo Capietto within 5 seconds at the line. Nazim Azman, what a joy this will be for him on his return to the series, to podium here at his home track, but only clear of Dylan Pereira by 0.8 of a second come the end of the race. Nakib Aslan charges from 29th to 5th. He did basically everything he could in his championship charge, while Bao Jinlong holds on to Pro-Am victory, sweeps the weekend in class, and extends the championship fight to the final round of the season. The points lead still lies with Wong Jong-wei. Chao Chi Kwan wins in Am as well. 2 wins out of 3. Showed a lot of promise and pace. Henry Kwong and Eric Kwong will complete the podium, while Roy Tang finishes 4th in Am. But the points leader gets solid points out of a race he would have entered with a bit of mental hesitation after having a crash here a year ago in a road car. And last but not least, it is now official. Adrian De Silva wins in Masters, even after the 5-second penalty gets supplied. Such was the gap that he was able to build. What ended up being a caution-free endurance race. That's exactly what I think Marco Giltrap wanted, to be able to just continue to be punching in some lap times at the front of the field. And now return to the pit lane, where finally the celebrations can begin in earnest. I'm sure there was a brief celebration last night after the victory, but a late night race, probably an early wake-up call to get to the track as well. Might have put a slight pause on the actual celebration. I'm sure that will be in full force tonight. In the end, didn't end up seeing any drivers pick up penalties for track limits at the end. So clearly, once they got the black and white flag, they got the message on where the track surface was. And finally, they will climb out of their cars. I say climb, might fall out of their cars in a pool of sweat. Marco Giltrap and the Giltrap group, a real racing family. They'll be delighted with how this weekend has gone. Well earned. Clearly figured out something through the practice sessions. Oh yeah, make sure that #1 board is there. This is a weekend that he will not forget. Neither will Nazim Azman, finishing 3rd. He stands on the podium. Here's our unofficial race results. 5 seconds, the gap at the front. Marco Giltrap victorious in front of Matteo Capietto. Nazim Azman 3rd, Dylan Pereira and Nakib Aslan charging from the back of the field, up to 4th and 5th respectively, and what fun that was to watch. Liu Ruiqi, Sawyer Hongdat, Ling Kang and Rodrigo Diaz Almeida finish in front of Bao Jinlong, the best of the Pro-Ams, and that's the top 10. Josh Berry just behind them with Chao Chi Kwan, Seth Gilmore, Chris Chia and Wong Jong-wei. The top 15 Amna Alkabasi, Henry Kwong, and then Eric Kwong. Sliding in front of Roy Tang at second, third and fourth in the AM class. And then the Masters winner confirmed after the penalty. Adrian De Silva built up a gap, finishes in front of Yen Chuang as well by a couple of tenths of a second. Francis Chia, Jackie Wu, John Chen and Christian Chia. Top 25 with Li Jia finishing this race alongside of Simon Chan. 1 lap down to Douglas Koo. Aaron Lim, unfortunately, DNFs again. Endurance racing for the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, the first time in 2026. Lights went out, rolling start, and some drivers found themselves a bit too greedy to punch the throttle and finding themselves with a jump start. Francis Chia spun around on his return to the Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia, but he got into the thick of the fighting in the Open Road Racing 21. So did Niki Baslan and Dylan Pereira as they charged their way from the back of the pack. Couple of elbows out moves, including on Seth Gilmore in that bright orange Porsche Center Adelaide. Number 24. One driver who slid backwards slightly, Lin Kang. Once he was pushed wide by Rodrigo Diaz Almeida, that allowed Liu Chi to take advantage and sweep up the inside. Diaz Almeida being passed by Niki Baslan in similar form. Francis Chia, once he got into the thick of the fighting, unfortunately picked up the throttle a bit too early, spun around at turn 4. Dylan Pereira took a couple of bites out of Liu Chi before finally making the move at turn number 7. But while he tried to charge down the race leader, Marco Giltrap, impervious. 3 poles this weekend, 2 victories. Almost perfect for Team Porsche New Zealand and for Marco Giltrap here at the Sepang International Circuit. Let's head down to Steve, catch up with our winners.
Yeah, Marco Giltrap is with me. 2 wins out of 3. Doesn't get much better than that. Marco, how are you feeling?
No, I'm pretty stoked with that. You know, race 2 was not bad, still good points. And then, yeah, just wanted to execute this race, have a nice clean race, and we did exactly that. So really stoked.
It's great to look back at this weekend and think about the accomplishments, but in the broader sense of things, when we think about the Drivers' Championship, going into the finale now, a couple of races in Singapore, it is mighty close.
Yep. All eyes on Singapore, that's for sure. 2 races, and yeah, I think it's going to go down to the wire.
Family's happy?
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure they're pretty stoked back home in New Zealand.
All right, well done. Great to watch you drive this weekend. Fabulous performance. Well done.
Thank you.
It was an excellent performance from Marco Giltrap. I don't think we're going to wait too much longer. I can see Steve there ready to try and grab the next of our winners. And that will be Bao Jin Long, who for the 3rd time this weekend chats with our own Steve Dawson. It's been a good weekend for him, so I'm sure he'll be delighted to catch up with Steve.
Well, we might all agree that Marco Giltrap had a good weekend, but it does not get better than what Bao Jin Long has managed. 3 wins out of 3. You must be really, really pleased with that.
Yes, I just keep my pace, but the temperature is so tough. I think I should pay more time to the gym.
Well, it won't be any cooler in Singapore, but when we get to Singapore, the Drivers' Championship now is going to be very close. How do you feel about it?
Yes. I just do myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
You be yourself, and then the entertainment should come.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Great weekend.
Thank you.
Driver very much relieved to be out of the car. I'm sure Steve's getting ready to catch up with the next of our winners as well. And I'm very curious for Chao Chi Kwan how he navigated through the start there. Really jumped up into the top 10 and then had to fight with the pros as well. Did a good job to finish 12th overall. It's definitely not something that necessarily is high on the list of the focus, the priorities, but got it done. Here we go.
Fabulous weekends, and Chao Chi Kwan has certainly managed one of those back-to-back wins. How do you feel about that?
连胜2次，跟我们分享一下你的感受。
感受就是还挺高兴的，但是现在真的是非常累，因为今天下午的温度非常非常高，在车内真的是到最后再咬牙坚持跑完。
Yes, I'm very happy, but I'm really, really tired. Like I'm just using my will to hold on to the race.
I mean, 2 races, the second one an endurance race, horrendous temperature and humidity. I mean, how are you feeling physically?
就是因为天气真的非常的热，你可以跟我们说一下你现在的身体就是感觉是怎么样的？
我这周来比赛的时候，第一次称重是带装备92公斤，现在是88公斤。
So the first time I come to this track is when I weigh myself, it was 92 kilograms, but now I am only
4公斤的水，对。
88 kilograms. I've lost 4 kilograms of water.
Okay, fantastic performance, fantastic effort on the weight loss as well. I'm going to start driving cars in Malaysia.
Thank you.
Wish I knew that secret when I was going through my own weight loss journey. Drive cars fast. Just need to be in the heat as well. Sure, the drivers, when we head to Singapore, will have a little less concern about that, although having said that, we don't get to race under the night lights in Singapore. We do get to race, I should say, under a bit more hot and humid conditions. Always fun for us to be with the Formula One paddock and rejoin with them for the first time since our season opener at the Shanghai Grand Prix. Track looks quiet now with no cars circulating. It's been a busy weekend, lots of various racing, and really nice for us to have some great support as well for the 4 Malaysian drivers that we have, including our Masters winner.
We have pandered to Adrian De Silva's whims, and we're doing this interview in the shade. The first thing he complained about was we were heading to the sun. Come on, how do you feel? You look absolutely spent.
I am. Half the race trying to overtake Jackie Wu.
Yeah.
And then after that, being told I've got to make up another 5 seconds for the penalty ahead. Oh, I gave everything.
Did you have space in front of you to make that gap?
Yeah, I had space. That's a good thing.
Just take us through the overtaking maneuver.
It was oh shit! It's so bad I can't remember now. I tried a few overtaking maneuver. I didn't know which one stuck, but I think it was turn 1 must have stuck. I went on the outside in turn 1. Yeah.
Fabulous performance. You look exhausted. I'm sure you are exhausted. I think you deserve all the hydration that's coming your way. Get plenty of rest. We'll see you in Singapore.
Thank you, Steve. See you soon.
Adrian's still got one more task before we're going to let him go off and enjoy. He's got to go and spray some champagne. What a difficult task that is going to be to enjoy here at his home track. Bit of a wait for us before we are racing again. 6 weeks or so in the month of October. Always feels like a long wait when drivers aren't in a race car. Although for plenty of our competitors, they're still racing in plenty of other things. And that's why Marcus Amon was not here. His commitments in one of the other Porsche championships, but he will be back to fight for the championship in the last 2 races of the season at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So we did the overall podium first yesterday. We did the Masters podium first earlier today. Wonder what order we're going to celebrate our podiums here for the final time this weekend. We saw a couple of our drivers not really willing to get too involved in the celebrations earlier today. They all knew they had more racing to do. Slightly different case, I think. They are going to enjoy this one as much as they may be a little bit tired and sweat-laden. And in Adrian De Silva's case, as he was, or not Adrian's case, excuse me, Chao Chi Kwan's case, explaining losing that weight as well. Lots of things to reflect on from this weekend as well. Good debut for Matteo Capietto. A couple of podiums to take away from the weekend. In Pro-Am, the championship fight gets extended out slightly. Wong Jong-wei likely to still wrap that up at the final races at Singapore, but Bao Jinlong with 3 poles, 3 victories. Does what he can to gain maximum points here. And similar case for Adrian De Silva. Let's go down and get ready to spray some champagne.
Testing, testing. Test, sound check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium presentation for round 11 of Porsche ARbox Carrera Asia 2026 in Sepang International Circuit. Let's invite our award presenters. First, it is our privilege to invite Yang Berbahagia Datin Anita Azrina Abdul Aziz, Chairman of Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Let's give a big round of applause. Together we have Mr. Winston Fong, Head of Business Development and Motorsport from Sam Dhabi Auto Performance, and also Mr. Victor Wang from Michelin Motorsports Manager Asia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to reveal to you the winners for the overall class. On 3rd place, we have our Malaysian driver, number 33, Nazim Azman from Origin Motorsport. Second place, congratulations to driver number 3, Marcio Capieto from BWT Shanghai Yongda. And the winner goes to driver number 66, Marco Giltreff from Team Porsche New Zealand. Congratulations to our dealer winner, goes to Team Porsche New Zealand. And may I kindly invite Yang Berbahagia Datin Anita to please present the winner trophy together with a check to our winner. And next, I would like to invite Datin to please present the dealer trophy as well. And next up, I would like to invite Mr. Winston Fong to please present the 2nd place trophy together with a check. And next, I would like to invite Mr. Victor Wang to please present the 3rd place trophy and the check. And may I kindly invite all of the award presenters to please join our winners for the overall class for a group photo, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please look at the camera in front of you. Big smiles, thumbs up in 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much to all of our award presenters. We are going to collect back the checks from our winners, and it will be time for some champagne! Congratulations again to our winners for the overall class.
Some well-earned champagne for our overall podium. Let's head back down. Couple of moments time for our Pro-Am podium.
Once again, take your positions. Once again, welcome Yang Berbahagia Datin Anita together with Mr. Winston Fong and Mr. Victor Wang. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to celebrate for the winners for the Pro-Am class. On the 3rd place, we have driver number 22, Wang Zhongwei from Origin Motorsport. 2nd place, driver number 79, Chris Chia from Phantom Global Racing. And the winner goes to driver number 7, Bao Jinlong from Origin Motorsport. Now may I invite young Barbaya Datin Anita to please present the winner trophy. And next, I would like to invite Mr. Winston Fong to please present the second place trophy. And now I would like to invite Mr. Victor Wang to please present the third place trophy. Let's have all of the award presenters to join our winners from the Pro-M class for a group photo, please. All right, everyone on the podium, please look at the camera right in front of you. Big smiles, thumbs up. 3, 2, 1. Thank you to all of our award presenters. It is time to celebrate! Congratulations once again to our winners for the Pro-M class. I would like to once again invite our award presenters to take your positions once more. We have Yang Barbaya Datin Anita together with Mr. Winston Fong and Mr. Victor Wang. We are going to present the awards for the winners for the M class. On third place, we have driver number 23, Eric Wong from Bergwerk. Second place, driver number 91, Henry Kwong from Bergwerk. And the winner goes to driver number 610, Hao Chi-Kwan from 610 Racing. And may I kindly invite once again Yang Barbaya Datin Anita to please present the winner trophy. And next up, I would like to invite Mr. Winston Fong to please present the second place trophy. And we will have Mr. Victor Wang to present the third place trophy. Let's have all the award presenters to join our winners for a group photo. All right, let's look at the camera. Big smile, thumbs up. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much to all of our award presenters. It is time for some champagne! Congratulations once again to our winners for the M class. I would like to once again invite our award presenters to take over your positions again as we are going to announce the winners for the Masters class. Let's get ready to invite on the third place. We have our winner, driver number 16, John Chen from Modena Motorsports. Second place, driver number 969, Jackie Wu from Porsche on Retail 619. And the winner goes to our Malaysia driver, number 61, Adrian De Silva from EBM. Let's invite Yang Barbaya Datin Anita to please present the winner trophy. Let's have Mr. Winston Fong to please present the second place trophy. And I would like to invite Mr. Victor Wang to please present the third place trophy. Let's have the award presenters to join our winners once more for a group photo. Let's get ready to celebrate with our winners for the Masters class. Let's look in front of the camera. Thumbs up, big smile in 3, 2, 1.
What a fun weekend here at the Sepang International Circuit, the penultimate event of the 2026 Porsche ARbox Carrera Cup Asia season. 3 races, an endurance race to add to the fun as well, but we'll conclude at the streets of Singapore. See you then in a couple of weeks' time.